Let's talk about it. I'm here with Philly 500 on a new segment on my channel. Obviously, it's called Let's Talk About Ep.1. We'll be talking about anything that you guys in the chat want to talk about. I was talking to Philly 500 before. Politics, it's like one of those things where, you have to be like a little bit on the safe side of it because he won't answer it. But at the same time, if it's something that he's willing to talk about, by the way, I just had to mute that because that was really fucking annoying. But if it's on the safe side to where he'll answer it, talk away. But if it's like really deep in politics, he probably won't answer it because you'll piss off like 80% of the crowd, like he told me.
Yeah, I'll piss off 80% of the crowd, no doubt about it. But
Yeah.
I mean, ask it anyways. If you want to ask it, ask it. If I want to answer it directly, I will. Otherwise, it's. I really don't care actually. So it is what it is.
No, but basically what I was saying was, this is your show. The chat, it's your show. All right. So whatever you ask, we'll go into depth about what you're asking. And the two plot points of this show, this first episode, is Connor Barwin, if she come back to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Sixers free agency, which is coming up tomorrow. All right. So let's dive into it. How are you feeling on the Connor Barwin situation? I'll do a light topic first. What are you feeling about the Connor Barwin?
My thoughts on Connor Barwin is this. I like the guy. I like who he was. But I wouldn't rush to bring him back. I'm more interested in seeing what the Sharif Millers, the Josh Sweat. I want those guys to have every opportunity to win the job first. And if you get into a situation where we're, let's say, week 2, week 3 of the preseason, nobody's taking this job, nobody's winning it.
Right.
And then you want to bring him back because you need some security there, then I'm fine with it. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much he would fit a 4-3 defense anyways. So that's like where I'm kind of with Barwin.
Yeah, well, I made a whole video yesterday that didn't sit well with people because I basically said that, well, first of all, I was at my local bar, so I had a little bit of drinks in me, but I didn't have that many drinks to the point where I was belligerent and I was talking stupid. I was like, I was coherent. And I really don't want Connor Barwin back because he chose a petty move by picking the Giants over us for less money.
Right.
And you know what? I don't know what his deal was because when he went to the Giants, everyone was expecting his production to be up. All right. And it was everything less than that. I think he had 1 sack last year.
Yeah.
And the fact that people wouldn't mind him coming back when our team looks better without him is just a red flag to me because, sometimes you just have to go away from the whole personal life of Connor Barwin and realize that it's a business and you got to put the best possible players you can on the football field. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't get that because a lot of people have good morals. I have good morals too, to an extent, but I also want my football team to win. And I do not think that Connor Barwin is the answer when it comes to depth on this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I like Connor, and like I said, if it's a situation where I need somebody with experience, somebody to help in that role because nobody during preseason or training camp has taken that job and won the job, I'm okay with it at that point. But I want to see what these young guys can do, man. I want to give them every opportunity. Not only that, but I want to be aware of who's going to become available because you got to remember, we're going to have a 53-man roster. We're going to have a lot of cuts. You don't know who may be available that may be better and younger. Right. So I kind of want to wait and see before I go out and sign them.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not in the position to feel bad for Connor Barwin either because he has a lot of interest of coming back here. And like he's taking pictures of the press box, he's taking pictures of the field, and he's like, hey guys, remember me? I did a lot for the community. I want to come back here, finish my career here. And I'm just one of those people that if I were running the Philadelphia Eagles, I'd be like, what can you do for this football team to help us win? I don't want to hear about all the community stuff. You're 32 years old, you're getting older. What can you do to help us win?
Right.
That's the big thing to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one sack with a really shitty team last year is not.
Well, he had 1 sack with a 3-4 defense. I think they say he played at like 26% of his plays.
Yeah.
Then the year before that, he had 5 sacks with the Rams, and then he had 5 sacks 2 years before that with us.
Yeah.
So that's not a whole lot of production. Chris Long, I think, had like 6.5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at some of the sacks and some of the times that he comes up big, they're in big game situations. Mm-hmm. I think that Chris Long had more left, but I like Connor Barwin as a player, as a person, what he does for the community. And like I said, I would be open to it at the right time. I think right now, let the young guys battle and let them try to win that spot.
Right. And you hit the nail on the head. You're like, you'd rather have the young guys battle and win the spot over Connor Barwin, who was here, and like you said, he had 5 sacks in 2 years, and then the 1 sack drop off last year with the New York Giants, who were abysmal. So it's a very interesting topic when it comes to Jimmy Butler. I want to see what the chat's saying because I obviously want to get right into this because
Jimmy Butler.
No, not Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I have my opinions about that. I'm not happy about it.
I'm not
happy about it. And MC Philly says, "How's it going, Nitro? I'm really nervous about Butler, and I have a bad feeling he's going to leave." Well, I'll help you answer that right now because I think he's going to leave. And to be honest with you, I was feeling about 1,000% that he'd be back last week. Now I look at the Sixers franchise, and I'm looking at a franchise that doesn't care about the fans, doesn't care about winning, only wants to stuff their pockets. They expanded. They hired the season ticket prices after giving great deals for years of losing on purpose. And I'm almost fed up with this fucking organization because you cannot let a guy just leave after we were literally a bounce shot away from possibly being world champions. Like, you can't do it.
Yeah, I'm very, very nervous about Jimmy Butler, and I am going to lose my mind if he goes somewhere because as soon as we lost that game in the playoffs, the first thing that I said was, got to keep Jimmy Butler. I don't care about everything else. To me, this whole offseason is contingent on getting Jimmy Butler back. You got to have this guy. What he did for us, and we were, like you said, we were 1 shot away. Nobody played Toronto as good as us. I think we could have won the whole thing. We got to bring those guys back. Now, some people that have talked to me about this have said, well, they've offered him everything. He just doesn't want to play here. But then others said, well, they're not offering him enough. So I don't know what the truth is. But if they're not offering him everything that he wants, then they're crazy. And I think it's a big mistake. And no matter what you do, I don't know how you're going to replace him. Somebody tell me one person you can get. You're not going to get Leonard. Leonard's not coming to Philly. So who are you going to get that's as good as Jimmy Butler? And Jimmy Butler's perfect for the city. Perfect.
The only person that I could see them getting that is on Jimmy Butler's level or a little bit below it is D'Angelo Russell. That's the only player in the back of my mind that we can replace Jimmy Butler with if he were to go somewhere else. But with that being said, do I think we could get to D'Angelo Russell? I don't.
No.
So it's a tough situation, man. It really is.
But I'm going to say this. I'm going to hold out hope that they're going to get Butler back. I'm going to try to stay positive, but I'm not going to be happy if Butler goes. I don't see any way around it. I just don't see how you can put a better product on the field next year without having Jimmy Butler back.
Right. And J Heat Too Rich just said, Miami, baby, location. Honestly, let's go. There's a lot of talk about him going to Miami, but I'm a huge Vegas odds person. And I was looking at the NBA championship odds for next year. Right now, DraftKings Sportsbook has the Miami Heat as a plus 10,000. All right? It means to me, if Jimmy Butler goes to the Heat, why would their odds be plus 10,000?
No. And I keep hearing a lot of things like the Clippers want to meet with him and Leonard together, and there's going to be some sort of team up type thing. So who knows? But when I hear about these rumors that, a sign and trade where the Sixers are going to sign Butler and send him to Houston, we're going to get Capella and Gordon, it's not impressive to me. None of that is like, ugh. There was even a rumor or something I read today talking about maybe the Sixers should pursue Andrew Wiggins, but you got to have Butler. Butler.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins is he's a decent player, but he's not Jimmy Butler.
No, if he's not.
Jimmy Butler was our best player in the playoffs.
Jimmy Butler, dude, I love that guy. I just love the way he plays. Like in the fourth quarter, those games where Embiid was sick and he really disappeared, right? Butler was the only guy that gave us a chance to win. The only guy.
Yeah.
I just, you can't let this guy go. And I can't believe that you can't give him a price where he would be happy. It's hard for me to believe that that can't happen.
No, and Jimmy Butler, I was watching that last playoff game on a stream, obviously, and Jimmy Butler made the last shot of the Sixers season that game.
Yeah.
And it was a clutch shot because we needed him to score. And he went up the rim and put it right in, and we lost on a fucking buzzer beater.
Yeah, I mean, we lost a heartbreaker, man, but we were close, and to me, that was one of those losses at the time where it's like you can build on this, but you have to bring your nucleus back. You can't lose Jimmy Butler at this point. So I mean, I think the Sixers, I think they got to get it done, and hopefully they will. But who knows? It doesn't look good from what we're hearing.
Yeah, and MC Philly just said something. He said, "Yeah, I hate to say the process is stalled if Butler leaves. It's not stalled. It's a failure. If Butler leaves, it's a failure because this is the 7th year of the process. All right, and what do we get out of it? We got Joel Embiid, who's a unicorn, but can't stay on the court. All right, we got Ben Simmons, who can be a generational talent, but can't shoot the basketball. We have Jimmy Butler that we got out of the process as a veteran, all right, because we acquired all this talent, and we got him via trade. We got Tobias Harris via trade. Tobias Harris might be leaving, and Jimmy Butler might be leaving. So you gave up a lot of assets to acquire these guys, and both of them might not even be here next year.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? And that is the process.
Yeah, well, that process has been like the Sam Hinkie role and what he did, I still agree with. Mm-hmm. But if you let Jimmy Butler go, that's on management to me. If look, because what I'm hearing is that he wants a 5th year, and it may be over a 5th year. If that's the truth, you give him the 5th year.
Yeah.
Give it to him. I don't like. To me, it's like I don't even understand. Who are you going to bring in to replace him? I don't think you can.
Well,
I don't think you can.
Jimmy Butler is going to be 30 this year, and he said he wanted to stop playing basketball at 35. So he wants to end his career with one team, and he wants that 5th year, which means we'd have to pay him 190 over 5 years. All right, which is fine to me. All right, it's a lot of money. It's astronomical, but the NBA contracts that people give out nowadays, they're ridiculous. Like a Mike Conley's contract. Is he worth that money? Fuck no.
Right,
but
right.
The players' union diced out the money to protect the player. And if you're giving the right player money, Jimmy Butler is that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Jimmy was such a good fit for that city. I loved how he really seemed to work well and really like Embiid. I just think he's the perfect guy for this team. Even if you have to let Tobias Harris go, you got to keep Butler. I think if you have Butler, Embiid, Simmons, and let's say you lose Tobias, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, and it's funny you brought that up because Steve Brown says, you think Philly is keeping Tobias Harris or do you think he's leaving? Well, I actually saw this on Twitter today. Tobias Harris, they don't want to offer him the max deal. All right. So if Tobias Harris were to stay, they'd give him not the max deal, but if he were to be on the 3rd NBA team like Klay Thompson was. And that's what would affect the money there. They don't want to give him the max contract. And I give him kudos for that because he's not a max contract guy.
Right.
But if Jimmy Butler leaves, you have to keep Tobias Harris.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. You can't lose.
And I'm not a Toby guy either. I'm really not.
I mean, I like him. But to me, it's all about Jimmy Butler. I mean, I thought he was the perfect fit, and just to see what they did in such a short time, give those guys a year, 2 years of play together. My God, what they could do. I'm still hopeful that the Sixers are not going to let him walk, and they're going to find a way. And this is all part of it, and we just got to hang in there. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. Doesn't sound good, but you never know.
Yeah, and TFP23 just said, damn, we really need Ben to develop a real jump shot. And what's crazy about this? If Ben did develop a jump shot overnight and next season he was ready to go, we wouldn't be talking like this right now.
No.
All right? Because Ben Simmons, if he had a jump shot, is a top 5 player in the league, which makes me so frustrated when it comes to talking about Ben Simmons because the fact that this guy doesn't even attempt to shoot a jumper
Yeah.
It's baffling to me.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying this for, like, all year is he needs to spend like 5 hours a day. He needs to be what Kobe Bryant used to do, what Larry Bird used to do, and just go out and shoot 5 hours a day until you develop a shot. It will come if you work at it. I believe that you can develop a shot, but
Right.
it takes a lot of work. And I don't know what he's doing, but if I was him, I'd be out there 5 hours every day shooting.
Every single day. I agree. And it just sucks because um and Jay Heat Too Rich just brought up a good point. He said in blowouts he doesn't even shoot. you know?
No, he doesn't.
No.
No, I agree. There's way too many times where he goes to the hoop and he doesn't pull up and he has that one extra pass you don't need at all.
Yeah.
And it just, he's got to develop a shot. I give him one more year. I said at this next year, if he comes back and he does not have a shot, I'm going to be like, you know what? Whatever we got to do, we got to trade him. Because to me, it should be developed. He should improve this year. I don't want to trade him. Believe me, I don't.
It was so bad at one point during the playoffs last year. I actually bet on game 2 for the Sixers Raptors. Sixers won that game. And it was so bad at one point that me and my friend, we were joking. When he would go up to the rim for the layup, we thought he was going to pass it behind him.
Yeah, I know.
It was just a joke. Like,
right.
Yeah. He's a weird player to figure out. Like, he really is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is he doesn't want to practice? Does he think he doesn't need to? I don't know. I don't know. I just want to give him another year, see what he can do. But yeah, he should improve. He doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to be at his ceiling. Just show me this year that you've improved on that jumper. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, you got it. We just want to see that you have what it takes. And that's what we're asking for as Philadelphia 76ers fans. This is the team that I would say doesn't have the most loyal fans in the city of Philadelphia. But when everyone's wrapped around the team, all right, they want what's best, and they're not stupid about the team.
Right.
And in this situation, you have to bring back Jimmy Butler. You have to.
I agree.
Because if you don't, it just changes everything.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hold Elton Brand responsible if they don't. Unless it's a situation where it's like the Sixers offered more or the same, and he chose somewhere else. Okay, fine, you did everything you can. But if it's like, well, if the Sixers would have gave him one more year or done this, then he would have signed. I'm gonna be pissed off.
Yeah, it's like that whole 1 year factor. If we were offering 4 and he got 5 from, let's just say, Houston, all right, because he would be with Chris Paul, James Harden, Clint Capella, all those players, unless we sign and trade him. We got Capella, but it would just really, really piss me off. It would make me not want to watch the Sixers. Like,
it's gonna piss me off. I don't know to what level. Like it'll be hard. Whatever else they do. Like I read something they were interested in Al Horford. Who the hell wants him?
He's dinosaur.
I can't like anybody that was a Celtic.
No.
Okay, I have a real hard time with that. It's like, I don't know if they lose Jimmy Butler. It's very hard for me to get excited about anything else that they do. Because unless it's something like somehow like they landed Leonard or something, I mean, it's going to be hard because I just think Jimmy Butler is the key to this whole all season.
No, and it's funny you just said you don't want a Celtic, because that's actually a good transition back to Barwin, because people in the chat were like, we don't need Barwin. Like, why don't we want Barwin? He was a pure giant, guys. He was a pure giant. I don't want a giant on my team. I'm sorry. I don't.
Except for Saquon Barkley. I'll take him.
Oh, well, I wanted Saquon. I was one of the ones that wanted him.
I know. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I don't like Horford. Like when they got Amir Johnson, it really took me a while because I loathe the Celtics, man, so much. I hate that team.
And they're going to be better now because they got rid of Kyrie.
Right.
And they're bringing in Kemba.
Yeah, I saw that. Sixers, man, I don't know. I'm really curious what's going to happen. I just think at the end of the day, I really think that they're going to keep Jimmy. I just got that feeling. Maybe it's just I'm not willing to let go of him. But I just feel like that he's going to go see what he can get. He's that kind of guy that he's going to make sure he's covered all his options. But then he's going to come back home. He's going to come back to the Sixers because I think he's got a better chance to win here over the next 5 years than in Houston.
Right.
Okay, I mean that's a team that getting ready at some point to blow that thing up anyway. So
yeah, it's funny because MC Philly literally just asked the question. He was like, "What are you guys thinking about the Sixers looking to sign possibly Al Horford?" And we literally just answered that, MC Philly. It's a good that's a good question. See, me personally, I'd be all right with him coming off the bench, but not as a starter.
no.
So,
It would. I mean, look, coming off the bench in the right situation, I'll accept it. But like the initial reaction is like, well, he plays for Boston. It's like that. That's my feeling,
Yeah. And it's funny because some people in the chat are like, we're going back to this whole Barwin thing. Deshaun Jackson was a Redskin, and y'all welcome back with open arms. And then down here, Austin. Wait, who said this? TFP 23 said, "Man, that wasn't Deshaun Jackson's fault. He would have stayed an Eagle if it wasn't for Chip's dumbass." So, I mean, the way you want to look at that, I think Deshaun Jackson still has it. All right, obviously, and he never wanted to leave. When we didn't want Barwin anymore, he went to the Giants out of a petty move.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't see Barwin as a Giant because he only played 1 year.
Yeah.
Horford has been with the Celtics over the last many years where they have just kept beating us and owned us, and I just like my hate, it cycles between the Celtics, the Cowboys, and the Giants, and right now over the last few years, the Celtics have just pissed me off beyond anybody else, and Dallas is starting to get to that point now, close to the season. But I mean, I'll accept Horford when he comes, if he came, but my initial reaction is not to be happy, especially if we lose Jimmy Butler. I mean,
yeah, no, if we lose Jimmy Butler, I'm going to be really, really pissed off.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to be mad, and it's just some guy that we cannot afford to lose. And someone brought up Kawhi Leonard. I actually had him coming to Philly for a little bit. I actually had him as the surprise player to get paired up with Jimmy Butler. But now everyone's saying that Jimmy Butler's leaving.
Well, I mean, Leonard, obviously, if you got Leonard, okay, I would be then I would say, okay, well, we got Leonard. Then I'm not going to have a problem. But who else? If you lose Butler, you can't get Leonard. Durant hurt himself. Who else are you going to get that can make the same impact as Butler?
We could have got Kemba. We could have got Kemba.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty hard for me to imagine that you do all that to bring in Butler and then he walks.
Would you bring back Nerlens Noel?
Yeah, I mean, for a depth move, maybe. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of him last year, so I mean, but I don't mind for a depth move doing it. But like I said, to me, everything has to be predicated off of Jimmy Butler's back. Now let's go build the bench and the rest of this team.
I'm just trying to spitball right now because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just preparing myself for Butler to leave.
Well, I'm starting to come to that realization too because of everything we're hearing. I've been checking like every 20 minutes about Butler, and the last thing I saw was that he will meet with the Sixers also. So I just hope that the Sixers will not let him go, and they're just positioning themselves. It's all negotiation, and all these things we're hearing are just rumors, and that whatever a team offers, the Sixers are going to match, and that's going to be the way it is. That's what I'm hoping.
Bag of Rocks just says something pretty interesting. I don't know why big free agents don't want to come to Philly. We have the money for a max contract, and Philly is a pretty big market. I won't answer that for you right now, Bag of Rocks. They don't want to come here, number one, for the location, and number two, it's a high-pressure town. That's why they don't want to come here.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you want guys that like that pressure. I thought that Jimmy Butler handled that pressure really well. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, yeah, let Leonard come here with Butler, and I mean, why not build a team when you have Embiid and Ben Simmons? I don't understand it either. Wouldn't they be an attractive place to build one of these, great super teams? They want to go to the Clippers and all these other places. Do it in Philly.
Well, I think people like playing with Embiid, but they don't like playing with Ben Simmons.
Yeah, well, maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like Ben shoots a lot. He's not, he's not
Well,
shooting the ball a lot. He's dishing it off to everybody.
yeah, when he shoots a 3-pointer, he shoots it like 10 points a game, and he makes like 3 of them.
I don't know. I love the Sixers, man, and we've gone through a lot of crap, man. My whole life with the Sixers. When I grew up, Dr. J was at the end of the road. They traded one of my favorite players, Moses Malone, to the Washington, which was a horrible trade. We lose Charles Barkley, one of my favorite players. It's just like it's always something with the Sixers. I just want them to get some stability and have 4, 5, 6 years to just go at it and go get it.
When we had AI, we didn't give him any pieces around him.
No, we didn't give him any pieces around him. Yeah,
Uh,
it's very.
He was my favorite player.
Yeah, I loved AI. He's
Yeah,
my third time.
Mike Moran said he's a Lakers fan. He's like, has Simmons ever hit a 3 before? No.
I think I've seen him shoot 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
He tried.
This is his 4th year in the league, 3rd playing. He hasn't hit a 3. And he's a point guard. He's a point guard.
See, and I like that he's a point guard. I like that you do it. But the difference between him and Magic Johnson was when Magic Johnson had to score 30 points and shoot, he would.
Yep.
Okay? Because a lot of times Magic Johnson would have like 15 points, 25 assists, 10 boards, something like that. But when he needed to score 30 or 40 points, he could do it. Ben Simmons can't.
Yeah, no, he can't. And the thing that pisses me off more about Ben Simmons is that the fact that if he did have a jump shot, like I said earlier, he'd be a top 5 player.
He would be, yeah. I like Ben. I'm like I said, I'm not gonna kill him as hard as you right now. I'm gonna give him a year, but I expect big improvements next year. That's what I'm going in with.
The Bag of Rocks just asked, do both of you guys think the Sixers will win a championship in the next 5 years?
If they get Jimmy Butler, they got a shot.
I'm gonna say if they get Jimmy Butler, they will. If they don't have him, they will start a rebuild process within the next 2 years.
Man.
It's not good either because, we have Joel Embiid, and you know what's going to happen when Joel Embiid's 5-year contract runs out. He's going to go elsewhere, and we're going to lose everybody. And
yeah, you can't lose Joel Embiid. You have to. I think that's what I'm saying. I think if the Sixers management really looks at this, I think that there's only one thing they can do: pay Jimmy Butler what he wants to bring him back. I don't think they have another option.
Yep. It's not fun right now, man.
No. And it's going to hurt them. I mean, like, you look at these other teams. You look what the Eagles have done. You look what the Phillies have done. I mean, these teams are all building to be good and be successful long term, even though the Phillies may not be there yet. And the Sixers were doing that too. I think you need Butler back. I really, that's my one hope that I keep thinking about in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't see how, as a, from a management point of view, how you can let this guy walk. I just don't see how you can't pony up and pay him. I think if you offer him the same amount of money, he's going to stay. I believe that.
Right. No, I agree. And, I guess we'll see what happens in that standpoint, but I'll be really pissed if he doesn't come back.
Me too.
Makes you offensive liability late in games if you can't shoot as a primary ball handler. Mike Moran said that.
Yeah.
He had Kobe. He had one of the best players of all time. So,
yep.
Right about that.
That's right.
And he also said Simmons is like a better version of Lonzo. Come to think of it, I mean, Lonzo shoots the ball though.
I think Ben. I think Ben could be absolutely fantastic. He just got to develop a shot. I don't know much about what he does in the off season and those kind of things, but I'm hoping he's practicing. I'm willing to give him the year. I'm not going to get on his case, but I'm going to be disappointed if next year it's the same thing. I'm going to be disappointed.
And we have a good question from Patriots fan 12. Would you rather see the Sixers win 2 championships in a row, or rather see the Eagles blow out the Pats and win one more Super Bowl?
Eagles blow out the Pats and one more
One more
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah, football first.
Yeah,
I mean, for me,
football first. Yep. But see, the thing is we're big Sixers fans. Philly 500 and I. So we want what's best for the team.
Yeah.
It's not our favorite sport, but we like a lot of the Philadelphia teams. I'm a 3-for-4 guy. Obviously, my baseball team's the New York Yankees, who are absolutely destroying everybody.
Right.
But as for the Sixers, they had a lot of downtime,
Yeah.
and we just want what's best. And getting rid of Jimmy Butler is not what's best for this team.
No, and I keep looking at this team. I mean, and I'm going, okay, we took Toronto to game 7 to the final shot. Before we could have won that game. If that game goes to overtime, we could very well have won that game. Okay, we are not far away from being world champions. So
Right.
why, when you're so close, would you allow a key piece to go? I can't understand it.
No, it makes zero sense to me. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm setting myself up for heartbreak. I'm going to this place called Hershey Park in Pennsylvania tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
It's a 2-hour drive, so I'll be having a great time there with some family and stuff like that. And then I'll be keeping updates on my phone, hearing how Jimmy Butler's going to the Lakers or whatever. And then I'll be really disappointed.
Well, I know he's visiting. I think he's visiting Miami tomorrow, and then I think he's going sometime next week to Houston,
Yeah.
and then with Philly. So I don't think he'll sign quickly. But if the Sixers go out and pay some big money, that could totally screw us. So we got to keep our eye out.
Yeah.
But I just think you got to bring Butler back, man. I don't see another choice.
Yeah.
See, and if you bring him back, then everything else you do is just gravy, in my opinion. Like you could build something special if you bring him back, but you got to bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, you could build something special. Bring back Jimmy Butler. Get rid of Tobias Harris. Bring in a role player like D'Angelo Russell. All right.
Right.
Have him take Tobias Harris's place. Even bring back JJ Redick for like $5 or $6 million a year.
Yeah.
You can make a team. So
I mean, they got a lot of. I mean, they got a lot of work to do. They got like most of this roster's gone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's going to be interesting. But I just think that the amount what they paid for Butler and stuff, you can't just let him walk at the end of the year. I wish there was a way like in football where you could franchise a guy or something like that. I think it's needed in basketball. I don't like these super teams. I don't like that these guys just go everywhere. I like when you have players on your team who like they want to be there.
They want the championship and they come from the ground up. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's why my dad and I have a different opinion on LeBron James, because I like LeBron James because I think he's the best player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
My dad absolutely hates LeBron James. He thinks he's the best player of all time, but he thinks he's one of the worst teammates of all time. And
yeah, I see both points. I'll be honest. I did not like LeBron James when he went to Miami. I was not. I thought that was like, man, how could you betray? But I was like better with him when he came back.
I thought that was the best time of his career. When he was wearing the 6 and he was playing the villain, I thought that was the best time of his career.
Yeah, I mean, I just think if I was a Cleveland fan, I would have not been happy
with
that at all.
But it's a business. That's like Jimmy Butler leaving. You see
it is.
Year.
Yeah, it is. It is a business in the end, and they got to do what's best for them and all those kind of things. I get it, but but I do think Michael Jordan's better though.
But you lived through it.
And I hate Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
I hated. Oh, I hated him. He was great, but I hated him. Because he'd go up with the tongue out, and then like people would like not even barely touch him. It's a foul. He was great. He was good. He's best, but he just got on my nerves, dude. He always beat the Sixers too. It seemed like we always met them in the first round of playoffs.
And then Allen Iverson crossed them up.
No, that was later. Like in the Barkley, Rick Mahorn, Manute Bold days, with Dawkins and Hawkins, and yeah,
Right. Yeah, I mean that's a crazy debate that people have, but when people keep talking about that, like who's better, LeBron James or MJ, those are two great players,
great players.
and that's the one thing I see in Ben Simmons too, because whenever I see hate comments for Ben Simmons, like, oh, he won Rookie of the Year this year again, he won it again this year. When people talk about bad about Ben Simmons, that usually means you have the potential to be very good.
Right.
And because people are jealous that they don't have him on the team.
Right.
So
yeah. Ben has tremendous talent. Obviously, he just got to develop it. He just got to develop the shot. I think it's nice and simple for him, But I'll say this: if you said to me, "You're starting a franchise, you can pick one player. Who is it?" I'm taking Magic Johnson every day.
Magic.
Yeah, I Magic Johnson is my all-time favorite non-Sixer player.
Reason why I wouldn't take Magic is because his career got cut short.
Right.
If I'm starting a franchise with someone, I would have to go LeBron.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Magic because he could play every position on the field, on the court, every position on the court, and he did. He played center against us in the championship, his rookie year, I believe. He started at center.
Yeah.
He was. I don't usually like non-Eagles or Sixers players that much. I respect them. Magic Johnson, I was a huge fan of, and I hate the Lakers, but I was a huge Magic fan.
Yeah, a lot of people loved him. I think he retired at age 31.
Yeah, he retired early. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
In football, it would be like Barry Sanders was the guy I loved watching. That was an Eagle.
And he retired early too.
He retired early too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just insane. It's like whenever I see Barry Sanders, it reminds me of Saquon Barkley on the Giants, because he has the raw talent, but they don't have anything around him.
Yeah, and when you get a running back like that, a lot of times they'll keep you in games. You'll win extra games because that running game keeps you in it. And you saw that with like Minnesota. You saw it with Detroit, where they're never bad enough to get that franchise-changing quarterback, but they're never good enough to win it all. And I think that the Giants could very well be in that position if this Daniel Jones, who I think stinks, is not any good.
No, he's not. And it's funny because I made a video response to your boy Bad Dog the other day, and he was like trying to like hype up Daniel Jones, saying that he could possibly be better than Dwayne Haskins. And that's just a delusion of a Giants fan hoping that something pans out when it's just shit.
Well, Bad Dog is going to be a very mad dog this year.
Yeah,
I'm going to be singing his song a lot this year. I can't wait.
Yeah, the entertainer guy, like he's still on the Haskins train. He thinks Haskins is a very good QB, and they should have picked him. So
yeah,
at least he's being more of a realist.
Well, the thing with it is like we used to do it. It's delusion. It's like the initial reaction of the draft pick was the proper reaction, but then you start talking yourself into it. You're trying to figure this out in your head so you feel better about it. And that's what you're seeing. They're all talking themselves into how great this guy is going to be. But the initial reaction, I believe, was the proper one. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had Josh Allen sitting right there,
Yeah, and I thought he was the best talent on the board in the whole draft. And I was going, no, they're going to get Josh Allen. No. It's beautiful.
Those reactions were priceless.
No, they were great.
Yeah, I mean, they're still up today. I think Bad Dog was in one that was 700,000 views or something like that. It was just ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, a Pats fan just asked me a question. He's like, as a Pats fan, I always enjoyed watching Darren Sproles when he was with the Saints and no one could stop him. Hey, listen, that's a crazy you just brought that up, because I was actually going to talk about him for bringing some depth back to the Eagles. Would you bring back Darren Sproles, Billy?
I would consider it if Miles Sanders comes in training camp still with hamstring problems.
Yeah.
I think at that point I would consider it. Because, see, I like a lot of people love Corey Clement and they think he's a legitimate number 2 running back. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a third rotational guy. I think he's okay. But I think you need a number 2 guy. And if Miles Sanders comes into training camp after missing mini camp and he's still having hamstring problems, because I see him as the number 2, I wouldn't mind bringing in Sproles at that point, especially the first half of the year, let him play that number 2 role until, Sanders can get kind of caught up. So
Right.
I would see if I would do it under that condition.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the thing is with Darren Sproles, he is 36 now.
Yeah.
I bring him back just because he has that good juju, where he's around the team and we always win. So that's why I'd really bring him back. As for being a playmaker, I mean, we have playmakers of our own, so I wouldn't really bring him back for that. But just as a veteran juju guy, that's what I bring.
I can understand that. I will say this though, I think that I was a big Miles Sanders guy out of this draft. Yep. I love that pick, and I think that the running backs that we have this year are better than what we had in 2017.
And it's funny because Troll Patrol just said Daniel Jones is better than Manning and Dak. Well, this is what I'll say about this. All right, this whole Dak Prescott thing, I might ruffle a little bit of feathers here. Dak Prescott isn't as bad as you think he is. And the thing is, Dak Prescott led his team to 13 wins his rookie season. And after that, he kind of went downhill just a little bit, maybe the sophomore slump. He wasn't the same guy. But he's not a terrible QB.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think he's terrible. Yeah. I just think that he's like if you look at like okay, for example, like you want your quarterback to get better every year. Yeah. So Carson starts, he wasn't great rookie year, but his progression from year 1 to year 2 was great. And then year 2 to year 3, of course, because of the injuries, but I still think there was some sort of progression. I just don't think he was ever healthy. Yeah. Dak Prescott's best year was his rookie year. As soon as Zeke goes out, he's not the same guy.
Not the same.
Then when Zeke's in there, they're always saying, let Dak Prescott pretty much manage the game. That's how I see him, as a game manager. Yeah. When are the Dallas Cowboys, when are they going to let him kind of take over the game, control the game? That's what I want to see. I want to see how he reacts when they do that.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? Dak swept us last year. So
they did. They beat us.
Yeah.
They won't let us forget it either. I hear every day from Cowboy, and that's why when we sweep them, I'm gonna be so happy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I can't really rely on a sweep because when it comes to the Cowboys, they're the only team in the division that we never sweep. We always seem to split with them, and it's weird because we always beat them at their house, and they always beat us at our house.
Yeah,
it's just really fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, and the year we went to the Super Bowl, we didn't even play. We had our third string in, so I didn't even count that game.
Yeah.
And then the year before that, they had clinched, so they didn't even play their people, so I can't count that game.
Yeah, they played Dak for a series.
Yeah.
We got ripped out, and then Roman came in and threw a touchdown.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, hold that win against for us, but it'll be interesting because I really think we got ripped off in that second game.
Yeah.
I really do, and I think that Carson kind of got going in that game in the fourth quarter. I think if the Eagles won that coin toss, we're going to go down and score, and we would have won. I thought whoever got the ball was going to win that game, and it just came to a coin toss.
Mm-hmm. And they went right down our throats.
They did. Yeah, we couldn't tackle. I mean, our side there was so banged up. But how many times in that game did Amari Cooper take a 3-4 yard pass and break it 50, 60 yards? It was ridiculous.
He's really good. That was a good pickup.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like it when they did it because I thought they gave up too much, but you got to give him credit for that pick.
Yeah, he's a very good receiver. But yeah. Anything else you got to add?
I hate that. I hate the Cowboys stink. I want that team more than anything. Like I'm ready for that game. I cannot wait to play Dallas.
Well, the thing that's funny is I actually hate the Giants more than I hate the Cowboys, but I'm starting to turn it around just a little bit because the Giants stink every year.
Yeah. Yeah, they stink every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a two-team race. It's a two-team race. It's the Eagles and the Cowboys. And either one of those teams are probably a top 3 to 4 team in the NFC conference.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, and on paper, we have the better offense, and Dallas has the better defense.
Yeah.
but I think we have the better coach, obviously, because Jason Garrett sucks.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, on paper, defense, offense, which one wins? I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you really got to decide for yourself.
Yeah, I think if the Eagles see, here's a couple things. I'll say this: the one thing when we play Dallas, I don't like is we don't blitz Dak Prescott. You gotta blitz Dak Prescott
Get him
when
right.
it's 3rd and 6. They never seem to blitz him. The other thing is if the Eagles can score as much as I think they're going to with their high-powered offense, I don't think Dallas can come back.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be able to keep up scoring wise.
Yeah. I guess time will tell.
Time will tell, and it's coming. I cannot wait.
Did you put anything on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I did. I put $50 on one bet and then like 55 on another. So I have 2 different bets of that.
What did you get it at?
16-1.
Wow. You got good odds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like
Dallas was 15-1. The Eagles were 16-1.
So they're giving Dallas better odds.
They did. Yeah.
But
the Eagles were 9 to win loss 9.5. Dallas was 9, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, we have 9.5, and I think the juice was minus 160 if you were to pick them. So I mean that thing Vegas thinks that they're gonna have a good year. Now we have a good question here by formerly known as Eagle Speed. He's Fitness Cheat Code now. Will Goddard have more touchdowns than Ertz?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question because I do think Ertz's numbers will come down somewhat this year. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb and say yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
I agree. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I never viewed Ertz as a tight end. You know,
right?
Like he doesn't block for shit. Like he goes out for out routes that a wide receiver would, like a 10-yard out route, and then turn in like the middle of the field, and Wentz would see him. But Goddard has the whole package of a tight end. You know, blocks. He goes out for the little dump offs. He seems like a more natural tight end. So as a tight end, I'm going to say Goddard has more touchdowns this year.
I kind of like that. I think I could see that. I think Ertz will still have a lot of catches. You know, but I think Goddard in total touchdowns. Yeah, I could see Goddard have more.
Yeah, Goddard was starting to turn it on last year.
Yeah, he's a stud, dude. What a pickup that was. And then they were working a lot with like this whole J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Like they like him in the red zone. They were putting him on the outside, so you could essentially have him on the outside, Alshon, and then your 2 tight ends. I mean, that's a brutal red zone. Brutal.
And Alex Sanchez just said, will LeBlanc and Maddox be a dynamic duo?
I want to see more LeBlanc. I like what I saw from him. I think Avonte Maddox is a star to make. I love Avonte Maddox.
Yes. Yeah, me too. I agree. I think Maddox is prime, and I think LeBlanc is more of a special teams player. Mm-hmm. But he could come into his own because he did get the interception against Drew Brees in the playoff game.
Yeah, I loved what LeBlanc did. I just want to see it another year.
Yeah, me too. He's got to be consistent.
Yeah.
One player that I actually like and I think is underrated that everyone hates on the Eagles, believe it or not, is Jalen Mills. I think the reason being is because I'm a big believer in quality over quantity. All right. He gives up a shit ton of yards in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to the red zone, he doesn't give anything.
That's true.
He keeps them the field goals, and that's what I love. If you're gonna do your job, do it at the right circumstance at the right time.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not. I gotta be honest with you. This may sound, but ever since he beat up that Washington Wizard in Washington, I just had a newfound respect for Jalen Mills.
Yeah,
like I like him more. But I understand he's a good red zone corner. He is. And I think it's going to be very interesting what they do because I think that with Mills, Avonte Maddox, then you have Ronald Darby back, who I think could be the worst of all the corners when it's all said and done this year.
I'm sorry.
Ronald Darby.
Right.
I would not be. He concerns me coming off of ACL. I would not be surprised if he is not the best corner on this team. That if Avonte Maddox, these other guys rise up and are actually better than him. I mean, what is Sidney Jones going to do? I look at his last year as a rookie. I expect big things from him. And then you have Rasul Douglas, who's basically coming off the bench, who I personally think should be moved to safety. But you got some young talent in the secondary.
And Fitness Chico just said, "Why did we bring back Ronald Darby?"
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that maybe because the guys like Avante Maddox and Sidney Jones are so young, maybe they wanted a more of a veteran guy.
That move.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why. I mean, they like Ronald Darby, but I just coming back from an ACL, especially after watching everything that happened with Wentz, it kind of concerns me that the next year you're going to expect a lot from Ronald Darby coming back from ACL as a corner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And they're talking about Rasul Douglas in the chat. He's like, they want him to start somewhere. I hope they don't get rid of him. Well, Rasul Douglas might be the odd man out.
Well, that's what I'm concerned about. That's why. But see, I think Russell Douglas, if you moved him to safety, he would be a top 5 safety in 2 years. That's what I believe. I believe he's a ball hawk. Like, his best skills are his instincts. Yep. He's a ball hawk. He can get the ball. He showed he could tackle. And a lot of corners who have trouble with speed wide receivers, because he's not the fastest corner, they make the conversion to a safety beautiful. And I think the Eagles should be putting him as safety. I think he could be a stud safety, and you would get him on the field. Otherwise, they may move him because you got so many corners. He may not get playing time.
Right. And we actually have a good question here. Thoughts on Jim Schwartz? Lots of Eagles fans on Twitter want him fired.
I'm not the biggest Jim Schwartz guy. I don't mind him. I like him as a person. I like the attitude. But the philosophy that I come from the Buddy Ryan days, dude. I come from the Jim Johnson. I believe in the blitz. I believe you live and die with the blitz. He does not. And I think at times it hurts us. Huh?
He does the wide 9, right?
Yeah, he does it not fully like who is it, Washburn? Like they did, but he does use it. But I believe sometimes that we like, okay, here's an example. So you had the Tennessee game, right? We're up in overtime, 3 points. It's 4th and 15. They don't blitz. They get the first down.
Yep.
Then it was 3rd and goal or something like that, where you're in the red zone and instead of dropping everybody back in a short field, you blitz. Yeah. It's like sometimes he does that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, when you blitz, you're obviously leaving someone wide open. So right. I mean, if all right, so you're leaving someone wide open in a game against Tennessee. You don't trust to leave someone wide open against Marcus Mariota, who hasn't really been that good of an NFL QB.
Right. I would have blitzed on 4th and 15 because it makes him get rid of the ball quicker. Yeah. But when you were down near the end zone and they're trying to score a touchdown, that's when you back everybody up in the red zone and you have plenty, because the field's short. You can only go so many places. So it's like things like that bother me about Jim Schwartz. But I like his attitude. I like the way the players play for him. I wouldn't fire him. I don't believe he should be fired. But just philosophy-wise, I'm not just like totally behind his philosophy.
Right. No, I can't fire a coach that won the Super Bowl. Especially at the right time with Brandon Graham getting that ship sack. So
yeah, I'm more worried about Mike Groh than I'm worried about Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I don't like Groh at all. And I think that it was a flash in the pan what happened in the streak last year to get through the playoffs to the Superdome. I think that Mike Groh, I don't think he works well with Carson Wentz.
Well, and when he brought Golden Tate and he was like, well, I don't really know how to utilize him. That kind of bothered me. Yeah. And I think Doug Peterson kind of took over the play calling and stuff more so, or had more impact to the offense late in the year.
No, I agree. And I can't wait for the season. And before we go, because this is usually a 45-minute show, we went a little bit overboard because we've been having such good conversation. But before we go, what is your record prediction on the Philadelphia Eagles as it stands right now?
13-3.
13-3.
13-3, number 1 seed, and they clinch everything. The Dallas game. I think Dallas is like a 10 or 11 win team, so they're going to be close all year.
Now, here's the real question: what is the record of the Philadelphia Eagles if Carson Wentz were to go down in Week 3?
I'm gonna say, it's really a great question because I don't know what to expect from Nate Sudfeld. So I'll say 7-9, 6-10, 7-9.
So this team is all Carson Wentz.
It's all about Carson Wentz. That's the truth. It's
Yep.
all about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and that's what scares the shit out of me because I'm one of those pessimists that doesn't think he can make it through a full season again.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's what bothers me. If he does, though, I really believe we could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But he needs to show me that he can stay on the field like he does.
Yeah. Well, I'd be lying if I said that there isn't a part of me that does worry about it. It's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, man, we've been through so many injuries. At some point it's got to work out. And hopefully this is it. Last year he was just was never healthy. He probably came back too early. I thought he did. And yeah, I mean, we're going to see. I think this year is going to go a long way in really deciding what Carson Wentz is.
I agree. Well, with that being said, thank you for joining me, Philly 500, on the first episode of Let's Talk About It. They will be coming on once or twice a week. Well, I'll be coming on once or twice a week. Philly 500 will be here, I'm sure, a lot down.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It was an honor. And anytime you want me on, just let me know.
Yeah, definitely, buddy. And it's going to be a great segment every single week because there's a lot to talk about in the world. Today was obviously Jimmy Butler, Connor Barwin. Then we kind of went off the rails and talked about the Eagles' season, the Giants' record. We talk about everything, and that's what I like about this new segment because there's something that comes up every single day. Every single day is something.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I just can't wait to see where the segment brings the fans of the channel, fans of your channel. I think it's going to help pretty much everyone out. So I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too.
But with that being said, thank you for joining me. Everyone in the chat, thank you. This is your show. You guys are the people that run this whole segment. So keep those good questions coming in. And by the way, for everyone that I skipped over, it's not necessarily that I didn't like what you posted. This show, I read off the comments that are necessary to what I'm doing on the show. Like, it has to be a good question, It can't be like a trolling thing. But that doesn't mean I don't like what you posted. So just keep that in mind. All right. Just think about this. If it's a good enough question and I read it out, you did something right. So that's what I'm trying to bring to this. But everyone, thank you for joining and have a great night.
Peace.